It's rolling.
Shut Your Mouth Lounge. My mic isn't picking up half the things I say. Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 211. Addie and Pink.
Hi.
We
Oh,
exist.
yes, I'm also here. I am Alex. I am sleep deprived and ready to pass out at any moment. So if I suddenly leave, then just assume that I've been murdered.
I'm not gonna lie with the way you were doing that intro. I thought you were going to go into the French champagne, the freaking. I'm forgetting the actor's name. The guy.
No, I don't know. I do not know the reference. No.
The guy who used to be the I don't always blank meme.
Ah,
There's a like he made an advertisement for
I don't always
champagne.
do speedy podcast intros, but when I do, I'm sleep deprived.
Yeah, I think it's that guy at least, but it's
The most
an
interesting man in the world.
yeah it's an actor that I actually know, but I don't know his name. I've just seen him, but freaking like there was there is a video of the outtakes of him doing an advertisement for champagne, and he was just so sloshed, like he couldn't speak. He was so fucking gone. Just alcohol took him.
Well, that's the way it should be for alcohol advertisements. Really, that's just giving it an honest image.
But he was supposed to like make it seem like high class and shit, and he can't speak. It was great.
Sounds like it.
I just threw my neck out.
Nice.
All right. So, Pink, you got anything coming out on your channel this week?
Yeah, I'll have stuff coming out on my channel this week. There's bound to be Dead by Daylight coming out. There's still going to be Civilization coming out. But aside from those two series, there will be nothing.
Okay, Addie.
Right. Well, on the contrary, I refuse to release content. I only hoard content for myself. No, but seriously, so I had 2 videos finished. One of them I have decided that I'm gonna just trash because I didn't like it. And then the other one, I'll need to remake a part of it. So that's fun. And then I will also have to make more videos so that I will eventually, hopefully, eventually, I'll get into the groove of actually being able to release videos because I'll have more than 2 of them finished, giving me actual time to work on videos. But with how videos have been getting made so far, that doesn't seem like a realistic goal, sadly.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where I am right now.
I don't know where I am right now. In terms of videos or everything else. On my channel, I keep mulling over ideas for what I want to do. I'd like to do something, but given the past couple weeks since I said I'd come back to making videos, I've made like 1 video. The record indicates no, I will not be coming out with any videos this week unless I get a fire lit under my ass. But I've been slowly rolling my sleep schedule around through the day and through the night, which started unintentionally because of the long DVD sessions we do sometimes. And it just so happened that eventually it got to the point where it's like, oh, now I go to sleep at 6 in the morning and wake up at 6 at night. Fuck.
Goodness.
So, yeah, that gets in the way a little bit. And, Addie, what is coming out on the group channel?
Well, on the group channel, we will have. I can promise Dead by Daylight because I know that shit's gonna be running until the 2nd week of March.
Nah. God help us all.
Yeah. And then there will be Guilty Gear, just genuinely Guilty Gear, because I believe it's both Xrd and XX. But let's
at least
see.
it's not Guilty Gear 1.
Yeah. Yes. On Monday it's Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2. Then it's Dead by Daylight. And then to close out the week it's Guilty Gear XX.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And that's your week.
Yeah. All right. So, Pink, what have you spent your week doing?
What have I spent my week doing? Let's see. I watched something. What did I watch? Started watching the latest season of Cobra Kai. I'm about halfway through it at this point, I believe.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. I've been liking it a lot.
All right. I heard there was something about someone turning out to use cocaine as a storyline or something like that.
Yeah, one of the returning, not from the previous seasons, but from the previous films way back when, one of the returning characters in lore confirms that he was high on cocaine during the third Cobra Kai film, if I'm not mistaken, which was hilarious.
Yeah. And they had that in there to explain why his performance was so ridiculously over the top, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Anything else? What's that? WWE had a recent event that was like day one, I want to say. What's the name
Yes.
of it?
Day one.
Day one-ish.
Yes.
Day one-ish. Yeah. So that happened, and Roman unfortunately got the COVID during that time frame, so he wasn't on the show. So it's like, why did we even bother doing the show?
So Brock can eat all the other main eventers.
Right? They had their fatal 5-way, I believe it was. Seth, Brock.
Yep.
Big E.
I mean, say what you want about Vince. Say what you want about Vince, but he's asking the right questions. Why doesn't Brock, the most I don't know, fucking dick tattoo on his chest of all wrestlers, eat the others?
Yeah, you can't even really say he's the largest because Bobby Lashley's out there. Pretty solid competition for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I
They're going
struggled
to be
to come up
facing
with
off the next
something.
pay-per-view event. What are they calling it now?
I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Brock because they gave him the title for Raw, but I watched SmackDown just last night and he went on SmackDown. They're still continuing the Brock Roman feud.
Yeah.
So it's now it's just champion versus champion, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because you see, Raw is the brand for the cowards, and the shit heels. They don't matter.
I guess it is. Unfortunately, a lot of those shit heels are the wrestlers that I want to watch. They're on fucking Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh god, having to rely on just whatever's on like regular, what's it called? Like not satellite, not dish, not anything like that. Just local TV around here. They do carry Fox because we live in the country. Of course, they carry Fox, so I still get to watch SmackDown. But Raw is not a possibility, and it's like, son of a bitch, I want to see what Shelton Benjamin's up to nowadays, and if he's back, which I assume it's nothing, because WWE's always misused him, but still.
Yeah, probably.
I want to see that Rhea Ripley, because I've seen a few clips of her, and she's got a unique look, and she looks like she does cool moves. I want to see her in action. That ain't fucking happening either. I want to see Bayley as a heel, because I wasn't big on Bayley as a face, but she looks actually a lot more interesting with a haircut and everything.
I don't even know if she's back, to be quite honest.
She may not be.
Yeah.
She's not.
Last I remembered.
Royal Rumble, but
yeah, last I remembered, she had been out with injury, and I don't think she's been back yet.
Anyways, we'll have more wrestling to talk about later, I guess. Anything else about day one?
Not really. I like the Edge and Miz match. Because, two of my boys out there. I like that.
Yeah.
Good lord, did anything else even happen in that pay-per-view? I don't know. Well, let's gloss over that, because I don't remember.
All right. Anything else with your week, then, Pink?
Anything else in the week? I played Skullgirls with Addy.
Yeah.
That's a fun game, yo. I got wrecked with Beowulf over and over again.
And now you don't go in a 5-mile radius of steel chairs.
No, it's like no. Anytime I see a steel chair, if I wasn't scarred beforehand, I am now.
You had to always watch out though, just in the case of the chance that there might be Laparca nearby to play them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just can't
But
handle the power of those chair solos. You hang on. We need to assemble a chair band. Come to think of it, you get Laparca playing the chair guitar, the chair tar, and you got Edge and Christian coming in with their hot concerto.
Yeah.
who do we have
We need, we
anything
need,
There is no
else?
payoff to this joke.
we need, we
No.
need to we need to fit freaking arm VD here.
Oh God.
Like
Somehow I don't think the Van Daminator is an instrument.
I mean, the thing is, like, there's only like 4 wrestlers that I can think of that even use chairs as like a signature weapon, and like, okay, no, there's 5 wrestlers technically, but then I tend to think of Edge and Christian as like a couple, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
A strange two-headed beast by the name of
Yeah.
Edge and Christian.
But like you have La Parka, you have Edge and Christian, you have Ron Van Dam, you have Sabu. That's about it. Who else used chairs as a signature weapon?
I have to beg the inevitable question. I know that Hogan at a couple points came out and played the title belts like guitars. Did Hogan ever just straight up rip off Laparca's bit and play a chair like a guitar? Because that would be up Hogan's alley anyways.
He might have done it. I certainly have no recollection of it.
Heh. All right.
All right,
Either which
good
way,
Back to my week.
Either which
Getting
way.
wrecked by Beowulf. Yeah, fun game. I really like the design of it. It's aesthetically pleasing. I like how a lot, if not most all of the characters, they just kind of disassemble their bodies and throw them at you. That's pretty rad.
Heh.
Um,
It is a lot of characters, come to think of it, that do that. Yeah.
yeah. I guess when they were developing it, they were like, those little, the hit frames where the character's getting smacked around, and you often have those weird little animations or still frames that look very odd
Yeah, the
if they're not
keyframes.
in movement. Pardon me?
Oh no, you mean I said the keyframes, but no, you're talking about the in-betweens, the smear frames.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
those.
wipes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they just decided, those already look funny, so let's just have everybody fall apart when you hit them. So,
Yeah.
smart thinking on their part. It works. I like it. I'm a fan. Not a lot else to say about Skullgirls, though. Very fun game. I'm looking forward to playing it again in the near future. Maybe even
I'm looking forward to finally getting to play it with you guys. That's what I've been waiting on.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Fun times, boy.
Let me tell you, W. I heard that Schoolgirls was like netcode was really good, but very very volatile, and I can attest to that now.
Yeah. What
Like-
does that mean? Good but volatile.
That when it works, it's fine, and then sometimes it just blows up and the game crashes.
Ha!
Yeah, that's Skullgirls. That was my experience.
All right.
Let's
Anything
see.
else with your week, Pink?
Anything else? Not really. I played a bunch of the strongholds back to back to back, just to see what was a little different about them, and by that I mean the 2 more recent ones. I mentioned it last week. They're more or less the same. Warlords had a lot of ambition, but a lot of it really doesn't pay off in any way, in any meaningful way, so that's kind of unfortunate. Plus, their maps feel a lot smaller than the previous iterations, so that's a bit of a step backward, and you can tell the developers knew it because they've developed so many of the maps to where your estate, quote unquote, the locations you're actually able to build your castle on, those are more or less surrounded by natural defenses now, so you've got a lot of mountain ranges and whatnot. Mountains, rivers, etc., that will more or less block you off, so you don't have to build a legitimate castle. You're more or less just walling off the choke points. So they knew their maps were small. They knew they had to do something to fix that, and it's unfortunate that they couldn't find a balance of decent map size to go with your castle buildings, and instead had to settle for the maps are small, so let's make it more easily defensible. But that it is what it is.
Yeah.
Either way, pretty fun games. Pretty fun games. And I believe that more or less caps off my week.
All right. Hey, how about you?
Well, yes.
I was getting worried for a
Alright.
second there. I was like, oh no, my internet just crashed.
I thought Addy was just deliberately torching me.
I
Not
kind
even
of am.
torturing. No, torching. Addy is
Yes.
lighting me on fire at the moment.
It has to be done. You're cold. It needs to be done.
Keep doing it, Addy. I gain power. Eventually, I will become like the sun.
That or the Human Torch.
Yes, either are acceptable. One's a little bit cooler, honestly. No pun intended.
But yeah, I didn't play too many games this week.
Instead, the game's played you.
Ho
Yes.
ho.
Like, legitimately, I think
We're halfway to a DJ Khalid album.
another one. There you go.
No! Only one. Or at least so I hear, there can be only one.
But regardless, he always shouts another one at the start of songs, or at least he used to. I don't listen to
Oh,
DJ
God.
Khaled. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a very matter-of-fact way of handling things. It's like, end every song with, next song.
But no, he starts this one with, well, I suppose it's kind of the same. Yeah.
It's like when people finish their tweet with typing out send tweet.
Like we need to, so someone needs to freaking to write a song and like a very bad joke song, and at the end just yell next bit.
Oh man, I may have mentioned this to you guys before, but I don't listen to much Tom Petty, but I do enjoy that song "Running Down a Dream," which I have on Spotify in my playlist. And I have to remember whenever the song gets close to wrapping up that I need to hit skip or switch to another song, because that song technically goes on for another fucking 2 minutes. Because after the song wraps up, then you hear a narrator come in and say, "Hello, CD listeners. Given the fact that you no longer need to worry about winding the tape and swapping tapes for other tapes, we thought it was only fair to even things out and make it where you also have to wait for the next song. So for the next 2 minutes, we are going to just play like duck calls or something like that." I think I may have mentioned this before, but holy fuck, imagine being so like country bumpkin, the old ways are the best ways, that during the transition from tapes, which fucking sucked, to CD, you were like, oh shit, these new CD listeners, they're too young and city folk, we gotta trip them up. What the fuck? Tape sucked. Like, we're pretty well the last, like, generation, the three of us. We're pretty well the last generation to remember tapes. Tapes fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, be kind, rewind. Oh God, kill us all. We have created a horrible abomination with your resources. Take it back. Anyways. Addy, what else did you do?
So yeah, I didn't play a lot of games. I suppose there is this. Okay, so we don't do music reviews too much, but there was a song that got recommended to me just randomly, and I thought it was funny, so I'm bringing it up. So of course, it started, freaking slowly the freaking.
It started, it had a middle, and then it had an end. The strangest song I ever listened to.
I've only ever listened to "Bury My Light" or "Bury the Light" or whatever Virgil's theme is called. So you know I'm used to songs not having an end, only having a start and a middle, and then switching between those two to switch things up.
Yeah. Well, I mean that is the chorus verse kind of thing. I don't remember what's the way of describing that. Carry on. I'm just rambling now.
All right, so
Help.
long story short, Spotify recommended to me a furry song, and it's like I looked at the title.
See, now you said that, and I'm sure what you meant was a song from the furry community for the furry community. But in my head, I was trying to think of how could a song have a texture?
It's not
You
even,
see, this song is quite rigid. It's got some spikes on it.
I mean, there is a way to describe music though. Like you joke, but technically you can describe music that way. Yes. But yeah,
boy,
freaking
just carry on before I lose my mind.
So yeah, it's not quite a song made by the furry community for the furry community. It's just the person who made the music does not hide that they're a furry, and that's pretty much it. Like from what I understand, this artist makes songs that are actual songs, aside from this one that got recommended to me because of course.
Yeah.
But this song had the title. Actually, I have to look it up because I don't want to fuck it up. I mean, it's not a hard title, so I don't know why I don't remember it exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's their most played song, which is sad because once again they actually make like music on the side. And I suppose it in a way it's not. That's not to say that this song is particularly bad. It's just because of the subject matter chosen. You know, it's a jokey song, and you don't really get big off of a jokey song or have any like whatchamacallit, like staying power. And
Yeah.
like from the other stuff from this artist, it seems like they're actually trying to make like country songs. So you know.
Yeah.
Yes. So the song I'm talking about is titled "No Cock Like Horse Cock." And yeah,
Just
thanks
experienced a
Spotify.
bowel movement in reaction to that.
Nice. See, you're getting ready for the horse cock.
That's the only appropriate way.
So yeah, the worst part of the song is that if the lyrics weren't that, then it would actually be kind of okay.
Nah.
Like I actually kind of like the melody and all that, and then the guy is the guy singing about the freaking horse-sized dildo from Bad Dragon, as you'd imagine.
Boy, country music has changed.
Yeah, look after freaking was it Lil Nas X, the guy who made Old Town Road?
Yes, yes. I wait. Was it? I don't. I don't fucking remember. Stop asking me these questions.
Pink.
I don't
You're the
know.
country music expert.
Yeah.
I avoid that to the very best of my abilities, and I tend to do very well at it.
It is Lil Nas X. Yes. So after he's made it, country music decided to change, and I'm not actually joking. That's genuine, kind of. Like, bro, country is gone from what I can tell. It's mostly just it's like it's like it's soccer mom country now. That's the in thing.
There's soccer mom country, but I think for the most part, bros have moved on to rap.
No, bro country tried to be rap for the longest time, and rap music just like rejected them continuously forever.
I worked on
Now
a
they-
farm with a bunch of country idiots, and they all listened to rap, so
Just, like,
Just-
I think,
just
like,
saying.
DJ Khaled is their hero, you know?
yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about the people who are listening. I'm talking about the bro country was like a subgenre of country music that was big during the mid 2010s, I think. Like, you know, it like what's the right ways to say this? Like, you know how sometimes people just flock around one or two topics and only that thing gets made and then it becomes a subgenre. That's pretty much what's happening. What's been happening in country music forever, from what I understand.
Mm.
I don't know if I'm zoning in and out of the conversation because I'm sleep deprived, or if it's just because it's country music we're talking about.
Probably
Both.
both.
Okay, that works. Okay,
All right, yeah.
help.
So it's basically what we need to do is we need to keep No Cock Like Horse Cock on repeat, so it becomes Billboard's #1 country song.
Yeah, well, you there'd be some novelty to it, but after the first couple listens, it eventually just put me to fucking sleep.
Probably.
And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like waking up and having from sleep and listening to horse cock. You then spend the rest of your day with horse cock stuck in your ears. You know, it's just so pleasant.
It happens though. Like it's kind of sad, but I hear some loop helps with getting it out.
Oh, well, see, when it's already in there, I think that becomes a different question.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Something nuts. Anyway,
Did you do something else with your week?
I also forced myself to get enjoying the distance of the computer, which was hard before now, and I mean it's still kind of hard, but hey, I can actually draw now.
The pain makes it better. Oh!
Yeah, so don't ask me what the freaking possessed me to draw this, but hey, it's here.
That's more or less just canon what Sonic is doing between games.
Yeah,
Like, that's not even like the stinky meme of Sonic being like a weird alien freak. No, that's just Sonic. That's just canon.
yeah. He's on the verge of dying.
Okay, hang
all
on,
times.
hang on.
Yeah.
But you remember Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts starts off with Banjo and Kazooie having gotten obese, right? Because they're just
Yeah.
eating pizza all the time. Why the fuck has that not been done with the start of a Sonic game yet? Where it's just been like, oh yeah, Eggman's been in another dimension for 50 years, so Sonic's just had way too many chili dogs, and he needs to work off the pounds.
Because Sonic doesn't get fat. He's fast.
I mean, that's part of why it would work. Have the tutorial level be him working off the pounds because
No, I'm not arguing against you. I'm pointing out how stupid Sega's logic is regarding these things.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's even necessarily that they're thinking about, but more so that it's like, well, if Sonic gets fat, then it won't be as cool when he has the anime showdown with Shadow.
Shadow hasn't been relevant in the past 12 years, maybe more. When was Sonic 06 released?
Probably 2006.
But yeah, but how long has 2006 been? Long ago?
The new year literally started a few days ago.
That doesn't help.
Oh God, help us all.
But yeah, like most of Sonic's characters have not been relevant since 2006.
I'm comfortable with that.
Hell, even the ones who have been kind of supposedly relevant are shit. Mainly Sonic.
I'm comfortable with that.
But yeah, aside from that, I also made this Kirby face, and if we didn't have two emotes that already work kind of the same way, I would make this an emote.
I'm comfortable with that. Oh, hi.
I think that's great. That actually turned out pretty good.
It's not even Kirby. It's just an anime anime villain. It's like the weird anime goon you see in like the first episode of an anime who's like super rapey towards the female character, and then he get just like donkey punched into the sun.
Yes, Kirby.
No, not Kirby. I will not stand for this corruption. I've had it up to fucking here with your fucking corruption of the pure pink puffball that devours gods. God damn it. No more. At a point, you have to stick your toes in the sand and draw a fucking line and saying, no more past this point. I will not allow it. And I'm drawing that line, brother.
But yeah, like this started out as me just going like,
Don't sell, don't sell, don't sell it.
nah, we don't sell over here. I'm currently being pushed, despite
Guys.
not being able to wrestle. I'm being pushed.
Oh.
But yeah, freaking like this started out as me going, okay, how detailed can I make the face, but without just redoing the same thing I've done before, and this is pretty much the result. And
It's
yeah,
it's good. It's just again, he looks like the pervy anime thug from the first episode who gets the shit knocked out of him, you know?
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it looks like Kirby, but it actually kind of looks okay. That's good enough.
Something just occurred to me,
Yeah.
and probably should have occurred sooner. Didn't we want to do the podcasts in the general voice chat so that I was the first to join the voice chat, so it was my fuck up. But didn't we want to do the podcast in the general voice chat so that people could join?
Can they not join in the recording chat?
Oh, we changed things so that Mike doesn't get so easily confused.
Oh.
Whatever. That's my lesson for next time. Whatever. Because I was like thinking like putting the things here that would just be okay. Where am I? Help, Addy.
Yes.
Addy, can you help the old man out? Things ain't been so coherent since now. Help.
No.
These little shits these days got no respect.
Can't believe you
Go
just
back to my-
denied aid to your elderly old friend there.
You know, in
I'm-
Saigon, I saw two men turn down help from me, and they both.
The blame should
know-
fall on Pink. The blame should fall on Pink because W is old and I'm a cripple. So he's the
Well,
only
you're not wrong
able-bodied
about
person
that.
in this call.
Well, you know what happened to cripples in Saigon? They fucking died.
Every last one.
You know what happened to old people in Saigon? They fucking died too. I wasn't old back then.
You could say they're all
Smart of
Saigon.
me. You know what happened
Anyway.
to people who make puns in Saigon?
They did
fucking
too?
died. Yeah.
Well, everyone dies in Saigon, apparently.
Yeah, except me.
Except this elder here.
Yeah. Anyways, what else you do with your week, Addy?
So, I also watched I think it's two because we recorded the last podcast before the end of the week. The last two episodes of the freaking the wrestling show that the internet people are running.
Oh, jeez.
There are more episodes now? I thought they only had the first two.
Yeah, they're releasing it weekly. Like it's an actual like promotion. In fact, it's so much an actual promotion. They're trying to set up their own WWE network.
Well,
You know,
So-
in the meantime, in the week
so what
since you mentioned that show, I entirely forgot about its existence, and I've been rather pleased with that. And now you've ruined my night, and I will not sleep easy.
I'm glad. But yeah, they're setting up their own network thing. So either they're trying to go legit, or this is where they die. That's their two options right now.
That is most companies, yeah.
I mean, like the thing is, I feel like they're taking things a bit too fast because it's literally been one like it's literally their first pay-per-view and they're already putting it on the network thing that they're trying to make a thing. So you know, yeah.
I'm obviously not a businessman. I don't know how running a wrestling promotion would work, but I don't see the.
Good. Neither do they.
It's very true. I don't see any drawbacks or benefits to rushing or not rushing, regardless. I think it's going to succeed or fail on its own merit, regardless of whether they take things slow or rush them. just like most wrestling companies.
Yeah. So, what even had happened in the past two freaking episodes? Well, they debuted a guy who works for AEW because we need the market money, pretty
Oh
much.
boy,
Yeah. Do either
AEW,
of,
they've got the best wrestlers in the world.
do either of you know a guy named Luther?
Luther sucks.
Okay, that's what I figured. I've seen him wrestle maybe once, like in this promotion, I mean, and
Right?
overall,
Why'd they get Luther? Is he the only one available? That would make sense.
probably.
Well, they certainly weren't going to get fucking Punk or Bryan.
Yeah.
Soon enough, they might be able to get Samoa Joe, though.
Yeah. Joe just got fired again. Oh my.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other night, man, it's bizarre that we got a WWE with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe working under the same roof. And it's like, oh, no, not anymore. All right.
No, now they're going to hire Abyss.
Abyss was hired.
When?
I don't know if he's still hired at the moment, but I remember a year back or so he was under contract in a backstage role, and they actually had him do a cameo in the background for a couple of segments with AJ Styles,
Wow.
doing his
I
Joseph
would-
Park character.
I would 100% believe that Abyss could make a good road agent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can shit on the Abyss gimmick all we want, but he did do, like, some good stuff when he was working the twin brother gimmick. Like, that's pretty well the only TNA I watched and was actually entertained by. The rest of it I thought was trash.
Yeah.
I don't even remember watching TNA. So that's how entertained I was by TNA, I think.
I've never been a regular viewer, but there were definitely a lot of guys I followed very, very closely back in the day. Still can't
now they
believe
all
Alex
work
Shelley
for-
never became a star.
TNA had a lot of guys that were all substance, no flash, which is not WWE style, you know?
Right.
And, like, I'm not an Alex Shelley expert, but my understanding is Alex Shelley was a guy who was a good worker, but he was mostly, look, I am white man. And it's like, oh, okay, we got 30 of those fucking guys. Next.
The only thing I remember about TNA is that I remember being like, man, why didn't WWE come up with the tag team named Motor City Machine Guns? And that's pretty much it. And not even the actual tag team, just the name.
It's not WWE style.
Yeah.
Like that's more of like a good old Southern boy kind of, let's name our tag team something rough and tough, whereas WWE would be a bit more like
Last
Oh,
name
let's give him
and other
something.
last name.
Yeah, let's remove their names.
Yeah.
Let's remove their names. Why not?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't even.
By the way,
The
he's not
alternative is
Alex
something
Shelley.
like-
He's just Shelley. Chris Sabin,
Yeah.
not
He's
Chris
just
Sabin, just Sabin.
Yes.
Or maybe just Chris. We're not sure.
Sometimes they just give the most plain names. Like they got the Viking Raider tag team nowadays. You want to know what the name of their tag team is?
The Vikings.
The Viking Raiders.
Ah.
If WWE got their hands on the Motor City Machine Guns, they would either call them Shelley and whoever, or they'd call them the Detroit Boys or something like that. Oh, man. But then WWE's creative well is a lot drier now than it used to be, so that's an entirely
Absolutely.
different aspect of the question.
Absolutely.
If WWE had the Motor City Machine Guns in the 90s, they would have put them in spaceman masks and called them the Martians. Oh, man.
Being accompanied to the ring by Max Moon.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many big examples are there throughout WWE history of them getting guys who are going to be huge before their time and giving them just the dumbest fucking gimmicks? Because, like, it was fucking Conan under the Max Moon mask. The guy who's pretty well Dwayne The Rock fucking Johnson in Mexico. But WWE got a hold of him first, and they're like, ah, yes, he'll be a Martian. What?
Why not?
The Mega Man Blaster was so good, though.
Oh God.
Max Moon for Hall of Fame.
No. You know what? No, actually, I could almost see there being some kind of interaction of like, hey, it'd get us really over in Mexico if we inducted Conan into the Hall of Fame, and Vince would be like, "Oh, that's great. What, didn't we already have Conan?" Well, yes, he worked for a little bit as Max Moon. Oh well, you know, whatever happens in Mexico, that shit's not important. Let's induct him as the real wrestler that our fans will remember, Max Moon.
I thought you were going to say that shit's not canon. Like Vince is
Yeah.
Vince really
Mexico's
cares about
not
the
canon.
Yeah.
That place doesn't even exist.
Half the time DD does do that.
Mexico only exists for developmental storylines that filler, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh man.
What,
Yeah,
what did Rey Mysterio do between his last time in WWE and this time? Filler.
I mean, guys, Antonio Inoki beat Bob Backlund for the title back in like the 70s, and DD just went, no, Japan's not canon. Honest to God,
What's Japan? I don't know what that is.
That is exactly what they did. Then, like a decade later, didn't like a Japanese tag team take the tag belts, and then they considered that non-canon as well?
Probably.
Oh man, it was that one guy, that one asshole who tried to shoot on Earthquake, and of course got the shit kicked out of him.
It sounds believable. I'm not messing with any guy who looks and is the size of Earthquake and has the name of Earthquake. No, thank you.
And also happens to have been an actual legit sumo at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. Just asking for trouble there.
Yeah, there are some occasions in shooting where it's like, what the fuck was your plan? My plan's I'm the toughest guy on the fucking planet. And I always forget his name. Who's that asshole who pretty well like put Ron Simmons out for a year, then Ron Simmons came back and killed him? What was his name?
I don't remember.
Me neither.
The big black guy in the late 90s. He was pushing him like mad.
Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's another example of dipshit shootery. Oh, man. All right. Eddie, what else did you do with your week?
I went deaf from you just now.
Yeah, that flew out the microphone and I have no idea why.
I guess my internet went nuts for a little bit, so it was like, oh, amplify this one ending note.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gordo.
So yeah, Luther.
I froze in
like
time so I can sleep and then resume the podcast.
Yeah. But unbeknownst to you, OBS's stand is the same type of stand as the world.
Oh no, so now it's just a 12-hour podcast again.
Yeah.
And it's 11 hours of it dead air. That's even worse.
Sounds entertaining.
All right. What about this Luther guy?
Yeah, so he's being treated like he's fucking Ric Flair for some reason. Freaking.
Because he comes from a legitimate company.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, they have
our goofy outlaw bullshit.
But they have Rosemary and Andrew Everett, and I don't know about Andrew Everett, but Rosemary works for TNA, I think, and you know, like technically
TNA is outlaw now. TNA is 100% outlaw now.
Okay.
Their Impact Women's Champion is competing in the Rumble this upcoming week, next week.
What?
Some weeks from now, Mickey James.
What? So wait, they just is outright hiring not only ex-TNA wrestlers, but like active TNA wrestlers right now? They just give that little of a fuck?
I guess so.
they fired everyone, and then they remember they had the Royal Rumble coming up, and they're like, oh wait, get Mickey on the phone, on the phone. I don't care what company she's working for. Get Mickey on the phone.
Man, I look forward to the men's Royal Rumble this year, where we get to see classic WWE wrestlers like Manic.
Manic, I love Manic. Who's under the mask?
I'm going to assume that thing. I'm going to assume there's been some changes, but for the last 5 years, I've just assumed that the entirety of Impact has just been Tessa Blanchard going out and doing a 2-hour show by herself, holding every belt.
I just like to imagine that, like, even though she's been gone from the company for the past like 10 years, I like to imagine that TNA right now is just Dixie Carter going out and talking. Like
Yeah.
it's her live podcast in a wrestling ring.
Oh God.
Uh, but yeah.
There may have been a lot of live things with Dixie Carter, but nothing involving talent. Lots of live things involving talent, but not her talent. Well, the talent she was hiring, but not any talent that came from her herself.
Yep.
Though I hear that some of the talent did come in herself. Okay, there we go. All the subtlety is now gone. Anyways, what was I going to say? Isn't Dixie Carter nowadays doing occasional bits for WWE?
Is she?
They had her as a guest at one point for some sort of AJ Styles thing.
Like, at this point, Vince is pretty well acting like he already owns the TNA video library.
He more or less does. They've
What?
They've on several occasions at this point, I want to say, have utilized footage from Impact, and that's something they used to previously only do with the Ring of Honor, which is now gone under RIP.
But the strange thing is, they're still advertising Ring of Honor on Fox over here.
Wait, no. Where can The Rock go now once he leaves WWE? The Ring of Honor is gone under.
The Rock?
Don't you remember that joke?
I don't.
We were making a joke about everybody who leaves the WWE goes to Ring of Honor because Punk made a thing out of it.
Oh.
Oh man. What else was Addy?
Yeah, so let's see. I'm trying to condense things, but I honestly forgot about the one of the shows that they held because it like most of it, like two matches weren't particularly interesting, and then one of them involved Chris Denker, which immediately disqualifies it from my memory.
Understandable.
Oh, I haven't watched the show, but I suggest that it sounds like nothing on these shows was interesting or really worth talking about.
Now that, like, once again, some of the like the small time wrestlers that they hired are actually kind of interesting, and I wouldn't mind seeing how they develop as wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking paying to actually watch them develop as wrestlers, though. I can tell you that much.
I'm not sure anyone should be watching them develop as wrestlers. I feel like, well, a lot of these cases, a lot of these small indie guys, it's like these guys would probably be better off just wrestling when nobody's watching. Don't you think?
Yeah, in some cases, it's a definite issue. Like they had Tankman. I forget his full name, but it's Tankman. But at least partially. They had that guy go up against Andrew Everett, and the guy was gassed immediately, which was fine because which was kind of fine because he's supposed to be like a big monster heel, and Andrew Everett just basically died multiple times over to make up for him being gassed.
Multiple times and dying multiple times during a single pro wrestling match. My God.
Yeah. I still wish that Andrew Everett actually like worked his gimmick, because like I get that it's a joke, that he's like that he thinks he's tall and shit like that. But like if you're delusional enough to get yourself built as 7'4" in kayfabe, then act like you actually think you're 7'4", you know.
Also, change your last name to Everest.
Yeah.
Well, is he supposed to be genuinely delusional, or is it just a Chris Jericho bit where he's coming out and saying like, "Bill me is 7'2", so I scare people off"? Like, is he just supposed to be an asshole?
I'm not sure. It came from a joke that they did when he was playing with NL, I think, where something for some reason he became a giant, maybe because they messed up during the Wrestling Empire creating his CAW or something like that. And that's how he became a giant. And then after a while, it also became a joke that he's an Andre's son. That's why he's Andrew, I guess.
This
And
sounds
so
really fucking stupid.
it is. And he doesn't even work the gimmick. That's the worst part for me because, you know, like I'm not taking this freaking promotion seriously enough to actually have like joke gimmicks ruin it. Because like I'm figuring it will go under sooner or later. But at the same time, like I wouldn't mind if people who have gimmicks actually work those gimmicks, which most of the people do. It's just him that particularly seems like he's not really interested in trying to work the gimmick, and like that's fine. But then choose a different gimmick that you actually want to work. You know. But yeah, that match was kind of interesting. There was one moment where Tankman gave him a spinning backbreaker, where if they announced later that Andrew Everett is not competing for a while because his back fucking broke, I would believe it. Because
Yeah.
fucking hell, it really looked like he landed wrong. Like it was just bad. It looked really gnarly and shit. Like, you know, it was a very good like monster heel move. It's just, you know, like it was a bit too brutal, and my mind went from, oh, that guy's strong, to, oh fuck, he actually hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah, that starts to be the thing with wrestling sometimes when a move looks too legit. It's just like, oh, that didn't go like it was supposed to. When logically speaking, if a move looks like it was hurt, then it's supposed to be like, oh, that move was perfect.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know if they actually fucked it up, or the guy is actually, or Tankman is just good at setting that stuff up, and it worked out well with Andrew Everett overselling everything because he needs to.
It can also be a thing of the littler guys being a bit more flexible too, of course.
Yeah.
Like if the same move done to Hulk Hogan is not going to look nearly as good as the same move done to Shawn Michaels or Dolph Ziggler, you know?
Yeah, true. So that was the thing that I wanted to point out about that one, because that was a good moment. I like how they're actually letting the like small time wrestlers develop, and they actually got mic time this time. I'm not saying they deserve it yet. But you know, they need mic time so they can improve. So
Yeah. I can just hear in my head all the little guys. Let me tell you something, brother. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do my best. And then they drop the mic like they just said something profound.
no, the one guy, the two people got mic time from what I remember. One of them one of them was the person who I think may be their top heel woman right now, and she did an okay job. Like, you know, it wasn't anything special, but it wasn't bad. It was adequate. Like it was a very cookie cutter. Hey, you suck. The audience sucks. The person, because she ambushed her opponent and the match didn't actually begin. And she was like, man, these opponents suck. You know what? I'm just gonna leave. And then she left. And then the match didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which was like, I was kind of sad because so far the women's division had like, considering how the women's division hasn't been as represented as the men's division, the women's division has had more good matches than the men's one, mainly because it doesn't feature Andrew Everett, I think, but or Chris Denker. But yeah, and aside from that, they also had a battle royale that I feel is worth pointing out, where they had most of the new guys, and then also Luther. But it was done in a Royal Rumble style of way, and immediately the guy, there's a guy, or at least, okay, actually, I just remember that they refer to the wrestler as they, so I suppose that's proper. But yeah, so there's the wrestler Kid Bandit, whose gimmick seems to be that they're face, but they're very bad at their job because they make it like too flamboyant and too like flashy Basically, their whole
Yeah.
repertoire is too flashy, and they lose because of it. Yeah, that seems to be the gimmick, or at least from the 2 matches that they've had, that seems to be the case. And they took a pile driver from another guy, and then actually sold it, like really fucking much. Like
Yeah.
way more than when pile drivers actually like happened in wrestling,
Eh.
at least outside of Japan.
Well, now that now that pile drivers are done so rarely, it's almost kind of like they're the forbidden fruit. So whenever they are done, it's like, oh my god, he fucking killed him. Whereas back in the day, it was a move you saw in every match, right?
Yeah, but I actually really appreciated the performance because both the way the pile driver was delivered, like both the cell and the guy who did it, like it was well executed from both ends, and then Kid Bandit proceeded to sell it throughout the whole match, and that's not something that I'm used to. You know, like wrestlers actually putting in the effort, I guess.
Yeah.
And they seem like an interesting character just because their whole gimmick is that they're dumb. The wrestler's finisher is a springboard palm strike that they call a Rasengan, because of course they also yell Rasengan
Yep.
while doing it. It's fucking
Oh,
dumb.
for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. And yeah, one of the big issues with this show so far seems to be that the actual name wrestlers get put over the younger talent, which makes sense. But at the same time, when your younger talent outweighs the named wrestlers, like 10-1, then when you've had 1 month to build up a pay-per-view, and whenever a named wrestlers on up and comer, they lose no matter what happens. It kind of it makes your promotion look bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like force Luther or Andrew Everett or whoever to lay down for the up and comers immediately, but like dusty finishes can happen. People can cheat. There's a lot of things that can happen. But like Andrew Everett, fucking like genuinely sold his match against Tankman like he was dying, and then Tankman still lost, and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the shows are still free, then I may still watch this show. If not, then I don't fucking care. They're probably going under anyway. There are a couple of wrestlers where I would actually like genuinely want to see them succeed. Kid Bandit being one, and then also like most of their women's division, really, and Bojack.
Yeah.
But like, aside from those handful of people, you know, you can see the growing pains on the promotion. So I wouldn't be like, hey, go and watch this yet, especially since Chris has been on screen in 3 episodes out of 4, and that's a big negative.
That's no good.
But yeah, and I guess that's my week.
All right. Brian, I went through my week fairly quickly, not only because I want to, you know, but fuck, I need to sleep. Anyways, hey, all right. I put a little bit of time into some video games. What games did I put time into? Let me check. I don't remember because I don't fucking change the blah 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 blah. Let's see. I did not put a whole lot of time into a whole lot of games. Holy shit. Anyways, a little bit of time into House Flipper. I won't talk in detail about it. It's kind of a relaxing game, kind of low budget, but hey, that's part of the charm. Just make houses, sell them for money. Yes.
Did you build the house for the father who lives in the walls? Yeah, that's a classic.
No, but I'm terrified that you may not be making a joke.
No, I am. That's a thing that someone like a person made. That's not actual like building in the game. There is there is that Haddonfield is in the game though. I think.
Haddonfield?
Yes, Haddonfield is actually in House Flipper. Yes.
I definitely saw a loading screen tip that said, "Hey, look out! Some houses have secret chambers." But like, do you just like whenever you go outside in the house, you just see Michael's head poking over the hedges?
Yes.
Oh my god,
Like
that's
I think
amazing.
I think I think the storyline is that the building is haunted because of one reason or another, and it's either Michael or Jason that shows up around the bushes outside of the game's area.
That's deeply uncomforting.
Yeah,
The creepy shit happening in games that are otherwise like mundane and peaceful and relaxing is so much creepier than creepy shit happening in other games.
that's why it was or that's why it's its own horror genre that people are abusing right now.
Yeah. I remember a game along similar lines, Viscera Cleanup Detail. You play a space janitor, and at least half the levels have something creepy or freaky in them that, logically speaking, killed most of the people at the location prior to your arrival. And it always raises questions of like, oh, is it gonna fucking kill me while I'm mopping up these corpses?
No, but
Interesting
Santa will.
occupational hazard. Yeah, Santa's a whole problem onto his own. Santa can go sit in the fucking corner. I ain't touching him. Anyways, other thing that let's see, I can talk about. This one, I'm not gonna be trying to talk too much about it, just because people might get sick of it, because there's been so much of it lately. But I put some time in on Dead by Daylight, playing a good bunch of killers. Played a lot of Clown. Clown is fun. Throw bottles, make people laugh and not laugh. You don't make them laugh. You make yourself laugh. You make them cough and scream and just all kinds of stuff. And then you cut them up and you collect their pinkies.
Yeah.
Oh. I appreciate that the Clown is so disgusting and sleazy. Like even just
like
his
Mike.
yeah, hey. Anyways, the other killer I've been putting a fair bit of time into, Freddy. Freddy's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's a real shocker. Clown's one. I'd seen people talk about Clown before, and they're like, well, trouble with him is he's got a high skill ceiling and a low skill floor, or no, the opposite. Excuse me, a high skill floor and a low skill ceiling. So he's not very popular just because he's hard to learn, but you don't get much reward for him. I disagree. I think there's a lot to get reward from him. Admittedly, I'm not a Dead by Daylight pro though, and I'm not trying to play around flashlight squads, at least not yet.
Right.
Freddy, on the other hand, is one where it's just people didn't talk about him whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy is a strange case. Freddy on the surface looks like he's the most complex character on the fucking planet, and it's like all systems on top of systems on top of systems. No, Freddy's actually a very simple character, but Freddy is a jack of all trades. Freddy can do a little bit of everything, and that means that his ability description text is real fucking long. So he looks like an absurdly advanced character when no, he's actually pretty simple. He's just a jack of trades.
Yeah.
Either which way, he's a lot of fun because you just get to place little traps all around casually, teleport around casually. Like, I think I said this before on the forum, but the truth is that the strongest power Freddy has is the fact that people who are asleep can't hear his terror radius, and you don't have to press any buttons to make that happen.
Yes.
Fun character. That's pretty much the extent of what I played on PC. Let me just hit real quick what I've been playing on PlayStation. I've been playing the WWE 2K19s. And I've mentioned it before on the forum. I've been having a problem with the game where it's like motherfuckers just will not lay down and get pinned.
Yeah.
And I think I figured out what the issue is, which is I just need to set every match to fast paced. Because the fast speed, like the speed match pacing thing, does not seem to actually affect the damage that wrestlers take or how quickly they get finishers or signatures. It only seems to affect whether or not the AI will bother to kick out or not whenever it's at low health.
Right.
If you set the match pace to fast, then whenever the AI gets to low health, it doesn't matter what you really did to them to get them there, they will, lay down for the pin, which is how it should be. Set them to normal difficulty, and it's like they've got an artificial checker in place. It's like, have I been hit with 2 finishers yet? No.
You need to fill all these boxes before you're allowed to win the match. Come on now, get the program.
One of those pacing things should be Hulk Hogan.
No, it's worse than that. And once you set the match pace to slow, it shouldn't be labeled slow. It should be labeled Rock versus Cena WrestleMania 28. Oh my god! Like, and there's also, it seems to also apply differing match types as well. Because if it's a 1v1 match and I set it to normal, then it only takes 2 finishers to put a guy down. But triple threats and Hell in a Cell, if I put it to normal, like, oh god, I had it like. I mean, Hell in a Cell I can kind of understand because that one it's supposed to be like, oh, the crazy endurance, regardless of who's in the ring. But like, I fucking I don't even remember who versus Vader, and I had to like, oh, it was Mizawa versus Vader, and of course Mizawa, you know, kind of a fat, skinny-armed guy, but nonetheless had to Tiger Bomb Vader 6 fucking times to get him to lay down. It was a normal paced match. Like, and of course it just looked fucking stupid because Mizawa was, you know, shorter than Vader and simply skinnier than him and had a big pot belly.
Yeah.
But he's power bombing him 6 times. Oh Jesus. Either which way, I did get that issue fixed though, and now I'm just getting used to the kinks of this game again. You gotta get used to a different kink in every day game. They never come out perfect. They've always got 1 or 2 weird issues.
Absolutely.
Now with this one, it's that, and I had to remember. After like playing a year of Universe, I just had to finally give up and turn off automatic rivalries because I was fucking sick of like, oh, I'll have a 2-month-long rivalry between Finn Balor and Stone Cold Steve Austin, which meant there are 8 weeks of Finn Balor versus Steve Austin, Finn Balor versus Steve Austin, Finn Balor versus Steve Austin. I was like, fuck's sakes, I thought they were supposed to have made it where rivalries didn't do this shit anymore in like 2K18, but no, it's doing it again.
Yeah.
Why did they even introduce promo slots if the rivalry mechanic just ignores it 90% of the time?
These are great questions.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Also, there's just some stuff that I'm inevitably confused by just because I'm coming back to wrestling now, so I'm a little bit confused. Like, oh, the new Wrestlers DLC, Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai, and they've got team kick moves. Or at least Dakota Kai does. So I'm like, oh, well, obviously this means these two, who already wrestle in similar ring gear anyways, clearly these two must be a tag team called Team Kick. No? As a matter of fact, they're not a tag team. They never were. Dakota Kai was Team Kick with some other wrestler who's not on the fucking roster. Tegan Knox?
Yep.
Why would they put in her tag team stuff when her partner isn't in the game?
We will never understand their decision making when it comes to roster.
Of course, like, it's a part of bigger problems because it's like, oh, also Tommaso Ciampa and Nikki Cross aren't here because reasons. Go fuck yourself.
Uh-huh.
And also, shit, I'll talk about that when I get to SmackDown. Anyways, the other last thing I played on PS5, I played the Ratchet and Clank Into the Rift Apart. There we go, Rift Apart. Hey, that's a fucking good game. I played only through the first few levels. That's a gorgeous game, exploiting the PS5's power to the maximum capability. It is gorgeous, and it's fun, and it's Ratchet and Clank. I nearly called it Ratchet and Dexter. God help us all. It's fun. It's cool. I'll talk about it more in the weeks to come when I'm actually coherent. And also, SmackDown last night. Oh, there's other stuff I did this week, but fuck it. I'm just going to move on. I want to sleep, and also I'm just butchering everything I talk about. So if it's that important, I'll remember it next week. SmackDown last night. Hey, not a whole lot to talk about. Mostly just the same old. Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. Oh, let's hot dog, and then whatever. The only really notable thing was they announced the women's Royal Rumble contestants, which I thought, that's stupid as hell. Why would you announce the contestants ahead of time? But they did it.
Yeah.
Because people aren't watching, and we hope that if they see that that a person they like is returning, then they'll watch.
Oh, you're 100% right, but it's like, it just sucks all the fun out of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the Royal Rumbles
yes,
are
it
always
does.
funner when you don't know who the participants are. It's like, yeah, sure, Lita's kind of a given nowadays, but that doesn't mean I want to know that she's in the Rumble ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. Lita and Kelly are both ones that would have been big surprises, even though they were in the previous Women's Royal Rumble. They still would have been surprises, but no, let's just spoil it right here. Fuck it.
I mean, if they really want to have big surprises like that again, have Lita enter the Men's Royal Rumble and win.
Well,
That'd be a surprise, all right.
would she be the fourth? There are 3 women now, right?
Yeah.
Karma, China, and Beth, right?
Karma, China, Beth, Nia Jax, so she would actually be number 5.
Oh, I forgot about Nia Jax. God.
So did everyone else. It's fine.
Like that's funny. Like that's first. It's like, oh, China, Beth Phoenix, Karma. What legends? Nia Jax. Oh, no.
Yeah.
All
Nia
right.
is a legend in her own right.
She's
Are
not
you
like
sure
she's.
about that?
I'm
She's
very
not like
certain
most
about
girls.
that.
If nothing else, she is not like most girls.
Okay,
She's definitely going down in history, you know? Without her, no Becky Lynch. Without her, there's probably a couple other things that wouldn't go the way they were supposed to. So yeah, show her to be remembered. Not as a good wrestler, heavens no, but show her to be remembered.
Saying without Nia Jax, there'd be no Becky Lynch. There'd be no the man gimmick for Becky Lynch. Is like saying without Adolf Hitler, there'd be no tentacle porn.
Technically true, but why?
Look, I'm too like sleep deprived to make like relevant.
No, I'm not talking
Similes?
about that. I was finishing your joke.
No, don't. My brain is too bad. I can't. I will just take it as an insult in her defense mode.
You fool! I summoned you in attack position.
No.
You triggered my pot of greed card. This allows you
God
to
damn it, I
draw.
was gonna say pot of greed. Fuck it.
This allows you to draw 2 more Nia Jax cards into my deck.
Oh god. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Fuck. Okay, I have to like last week on New Year's Eve they had a little show that was just Becky Lynch and Pat McAfee going like, "Oh, look at all the big moments of the year." And I got 2 questions. First of all, why? So did I understand this correctly or did I mishear them? The main event of this year's WrestleMania was Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
Not this upcoming WrestleMania, but the previous one, yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah.
No problem, just making sure.
2021 WrestleMania. Yeah, that is a shock then that Charlotte and Becky weren't involved in that, but nonetheless, strong choice. They showed I think they showed the entirety of the match for free on that, which I thought was like a little bit silly. Like, really, you're just going to give the main event of WrestleMania for free? I know it was a WrestleMania that's now in the past, but still the most recent.
Yeah.
Either which way, yeah, that match was pretty fucking good. I like Sasha Banks is always weird to watch because like she is 100% just telling every woman she gets in the ring with, just potato me as hard as you fucking can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always crazy to see because like they're just genuinely kicking the shit out of her. It doesn't matter who they are; they just kick the shit out of Sasha every time. And Bianca genuinely whipped the shit out of Sasha with her hair, of all things. And, like, you could just straight up see Sasha is, like, bleeding from the side where she got whipped with Bianca's hair.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird foreign weapon. What a weird international object. What a mysterious Jogo. And then they have Bianca just get, like, fucking fucked by Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Because, Becky Lynch just comes back and then, pretty well Stone Cold stuns her, except that it's the, what's it called? The man slam or whatever.
The manhandle slam.
The manhandle slam, which is just an obvious rock bottom, so who gives a shit? Addie, just to elaborate here, like Bianca Belair, like the whole thing was like, oh, she put in so much work, she's so talented, she'd win the women's championship at WrestleMania. Then at SummerSlam, Becky just comes out, hits her finisher on her, pins her for the title. Like, it was honest to God. It was honest to God the fucking, what was it, WrestleMania 9? The
Yeah,
stupid
the
thing
Hulk
with
Hogan,
Yokozuna and Hogan.
Yokozuna. Yep.
It was that. It was that exactly. It was fucking stupid.
Nice. I mean,
They never learned.
I personally can't take Bianca Belair seriously anymore just because of the way 2K20 portrayed her.
What did
Why is
2K20
that?
do? I mean, there's plenty that could have gone wrong with that, but what
The
did they do?
hair,
The
What do you mean
They-
about the hair?
they fucked the hair physics so hard. Am I thinking of the
I
wrong
mean-
wrestler? Maybe.
Well, Bianca Belair's just got the one really, really, really long ponytail.
Yeah,
so-
that's her. Yeah,
I
they
mean,
just
her hair also just goes flying in the matches, legit for real too. So
But yeah,
I mean,
the issue wasn't
hair-
the issue wasn't that it went flying. The issue was it looked like she put through too much like freaking like there were times when it looked like parts of it were gelled up pretty much in the game.
I imagine she gels it up in real life too.
I
Especially
mean,
when it gets that long, you have to take specific care of it to make sure it doesn't stink.
Yeah, but I mean like I wouldn't imagine that she can use it like Kali sticks in freaking real life.
probably not.
In WrestleMania, she used it as a foreign object. I just said that.
Well, yes, but a VP is not like those freaking like big sticks that you can take apart.
I don't know, man. Her hair is her gimmick, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh man. Anyways, okay. So the final question I got about modern wrestling, because there's nothing else really notable about this SmackDown. Why the fuck is Nikki Cross Hurricane?
Why aren't you?
You show your face. That's a great gimmick.
And why did they give her the main event title for it? It's one thing to give a stupid gimmick, but it's another thing to have her pick up the big women's title.
I thought that was great.
It was fucking stupid.
I-
She looks like a little girl.
I disagree.
She looks like a small child in the ring with grown women.
Well, in her defense, she is only like 4'9", so you're not wrong about that.
Well, you know what would make her not look so childish? Not having her dress up like a fucking superhero. Oh my god. Like, Hurricane, I was fine with Hurricane, because Hurricane was a jobber. But if Hurricane was going around and hitting fucking, I don't know, Triple H or Batista or Scott Steiner at the time with the Hurraslam or whatever it was called, I'd have called bullshit. Like, let the jokes be, sure, but don't let them run roughshod over anyone who's supposed to be an actual contender. Oh, God. Like, if they do pick up the title, it should be like a whoops, shit, how'd that happen kind of case in the storyline, and someone serious then comes and takes it off them.
I think that
Urgently.
is more or less what happened, because she won the Money in the Bank by kind of a fluke type of victory in a similar manner to what you're talking about.
What a waste of
Go ahead.
What a waste of a Money in the Bank.
I disagree. I don't remember how she picked up the championship, though, or who she lost it to. I assume it was Charlotte.
Charlotte or Becky or I don't know. They're just playing tag in search of the championships past a certain point, the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Like, Money in the Bank is a great concept where it's like, oh, well, this just inserts so much tension into the, world title pictures, because it's like, oh, well, maybe what if the Money in the Bank gets cashed in tonight? Who knows? But when you put it on a joke wrestler, then it's like, oh, well, even if they cash it in, there's a decent chance the champ could still fucking beat them. Oh, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I crazy for remembering this? Am I wrong remembering this wrong? Is John Cena not the first person to cash it? Was he not the first to cash in the Money in the Bank and fail?
No, Van Damme. On John Cena actually. At least he's the first one I can remember.
No, Van Damme won the championship from Cena at One Night Stand when he
Wait.
cashed in his...
He did?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Van
Okay
Damme.
then.
he lost the title a couple months later to Edge on Raw because he failed his drug test.
Wait, they let Van Dam keep the WWE title for over a month?
I believe he reigned for 2 months, but I'm not going to actually adhere to that guess because at this point I'm only doing guesswork. I actually have no idea how long.
Mind the joke, but what are they smoking?
I mean, I wasn't actively watching around that time because I was just a wee child back then. But I think Van Dam was a pretty big deal back then. He definitely seemed to be back in 2001. So, that's only
when he was hot off his ECW pot smoker gimmick.
Yeah. The only star from the invasion angle, I would say.
What do you mean gimmick?
Well, a lot of guys live their gimmicks. A lot of guys gimmick their lives. It's arguable which one RVD fit into. Oh, man. God. Like, I like a lot of the matches they put on nowadays. But, like, holy shit, they just make some of the dumbest decisions. And it's... I think I pointed this out to my family. I may have mentioned this on the podcast before. But things now are the opposite of what they were 10 years ago when I was watching. 10 years ago when I was watching, I watched for the mid-card. I think everyone would have agreed. You watched for the mid-card, and whenever it was either the women's wrestling or the main event, it was like, all right, change the channel, or get up and take a bathroom break, or make a sandwich, because this shit ain't interesting. Nowadays, it's a complete fucking opposite. Is it a women's match or main event on? Oh, sure, yeah, I'll sit down. This could be fun. Is it mid-card men's stuff? All right, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I can't wait to get a load of Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh, fuck
For the 850th time.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's just one thing WWE has always had a problem with, but it's been especially bad the last 10 years. It was part of what drove me away in the first place, is repeating the same goddamn feuds between the same goddamn guys. And it's like, it's not so egregious now because the roster's so much smaller.
So universe mode is actually, like, good, is what you're saying. Replicating
it's
WWE.
not good, but it's accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate by all means.
How many times did we need to see Orton versus Cena?
Once.
Hunter versus Taker.
Once.
How many times?
We already saw it once at WrestleMania 18, 17, one of those two. We didn't need it again like a decade later. And then the year after that.
How many times now have we seen Lesnar versus Goldberg?
3.
Probably more.
Whose fucking idea was that? One of the most notoriously smelly matches in WWE history. Let's do it again. Why?
Really, if there's one matchup that we need to see more of, it's Christian against Orton.
One more match, baby.
Yeah.
We need to have Austin on call at ringside, and any time the guys stink it up in the ring, just have Austin go in and stunner them both. Just that. There you go.
Salvage the match, Austin. Salvage the match.
I mean, wasn't that supposed to be Austin's gimmick for a bit in the early 2010s? Like, I feel like I remember him being an enforcer, and his gimmick was that if people break the rules, he just goes in and stunners them.
That would have been mid 2000s.
All right,
towards
then, yeah.
his retirement when he was the quote unquote sheriff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was not around in the early or late 2010s. He was quite thoroughly gone by 2005 at the latest, I would say.
Oh, man. All right.
While we're doing this podcast, I've been sketching out Eno, and it's really funny how I can draw people. So Eno looks like shit, but her head is gorgeous.
The head's the most important part, I'd argue.
No, it isn't.
Okay, you're right. You've called my bluff.
Give me a second. I'll actually send this over so I can take a look at the sketch layer. Because it's actually kind of okay.
Did they take a bad picture of Michelle McCool, or she just aged poorly?
She never looked good.
What pink you cut out?
I said she never looked good.
Ah, I figured. There you go.
She looks good. She just doesn't look sexy.
I mean, that's fine. I can't do sexy. I am literally
Yeah.
incapable of doing sexy, so it's okay. Yeah, I've been trying to make it a thing where I sketch like drawings out with completely freehand, and then do the proper line work with the assistance of the thing, so the line work doesn't look like shit. But I mean, this is actually not that bad.
I should note your guitar actually doesn't look bad at all.
Ooh, thanks. I thought it was oversized. So it's always for one hand, but that doesn't matter.
Ignore it.
That's
It looks fine for now.
Yeah, that's secret. She only one of her hands only has 4 fingers, and it's really big. I'll need to fix that. At least the fingers, if not the size. Oh,
I hope we're
yeah.
ready to wrap things up because I'm gonna fucking fall asleep and
Yeah, I
slam my
mean-
head into the desk.
I mean, I think you just have to
You
wrap
were
your week up, and then we're good to close it out here.
Yeah, you were finishing SmackDown, and that's all we had left.
Huh. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's, wrestling.
Rasslin.
Wrestling. All right. It's a pink to end the recording.
Oh yeah, I should probably end the recording. Anybody got any words of advice or anything before they
I
sign
say-
off?
Addy, say, go to
Say.
sleep.
I need to look up the freaking. I need to look up Sam Jackson's like lullaby
Go the fuck
book.
to sleep.
Yeah, go the fuck to sleep.
Why won't you go the fuck to sleep?
Bye, I guess. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say that. Go to sleep. Hey.
Yeah.